Hello, it's LJ again. This is going to be a really quick video today. I'm trying my best to keep up with Graham's 30-day challenge of writing, recording, and mixing, mastering, and releasing a song in 30 days. And he's moved ahead a lot more rapidly than I expected, but I'm doing my best to keep up. And so today, I'm just going to give you a very quick glimpse into where things stand now. We're actually entering, it's Monday, January 25th as I record this, and we are entering the final week of the challenge. Where I stand now is most of the tracks are recorded. I've done some vocals, I've done some background vocals, I've done all the guitar parts and the bass parts, etc. Really where things stand now is it's more about, I have some comping to do, and for those who don't know what that means, really just means that I'm going to be picking sort of the best takes of each of the parts. And have some comping to do and a few overdubs. I found a couple of guitar parts where it might have been a little bit more loose than I like, and I really don't have a take that sort of captured the mood that I wanted to. I won't be spending much more time on that, but my plan right now is I'm going to show you a little bit of where the song stands right now, maybe give you a little bit of maybe a little bridge and a little chorus, a little pre-chorus, and the vocal sound doesn't necessarily have the sound that I would want on it right now. I gave myself a remotely decent sound for the headphones where I could have a touch of reverb. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a little sample of the way the vocals are, but it won't necessarily be the sound that I would use on mixing because it's a little bit dry right now. You'll hear a little bit of the background vocals. You'll hear some of the guitar parts, but these aren't comped yet, so the timing is a little bit loose. Just an idea of where I went with the song. You might remember the bridge from before. I'm going to mute the vocals, so just to remind you what we had before. And what I've done here, by the way, you'll see on the screen, this is a tip that I learned from reading interviews with the great engineer Andy Wallace, and that is that I have a lot of tracks now going, more than would fit on the screen when I'm really editing. So what I've done in order to make things easier for mixing and also to keep sort of levels right to each other is I send the different parts to the respective buses. So, for example, if I like the way that the bass is in relation to the drums in terms of volume, and I think, okay, I've got those levels exactly the way I want, the drums and bass can then go to its own bus at the bottom. And now, when I lower or raise the drum and bass bus, they go down in unison, and I don't have to worry about in relation to each other. Same thing with the lead vocals, background vocals, and I have two guitar buses here right now. Really what's happened is I started with one, and gradually as I've been selecting parts that I like, I route them to the what I call the new guitar bus, which is the one that I'm going to end up using. Just to remind you of what we had on the bridge, this is not the correct guitar part in terms of the one I'm going to use, but it has more of the feel that I want in relation to the vocals, so it helped me record the vocal part. So to remind you, this is sort of what we had for the bridge part before we had any vocals. You might have heard that the music dropped out there for a second. That was just a little glitch. One of the things I'm not used to doing on this computer, I usually don't have any trouble recording on this one, but I'm using an app called Cam Studio to capture my screen, and it's mixing or conflicting with the software, but it really didn't drop out for that long, and I'll just leave it like that just to give you a sample. So the vocal idea I have right now, like I say, please forgive the singing that I have. There may be tuning issues, and I may be taking a different take, but this is sort of what I have in mind. I also have some background vocals in mind. There'll be no secret here that I'm a huge fan of a lot of the Queen music, a lot of the great harmonies. I certainly can't pull off harmonies like Freddie Mercury could. Not many people could. But sometimes I'll try to layer things. In some cases, too, what I'll do is sometimes I'll use tools to help thicken background vocals where I might use, I don't think I used it on this take, but sometimes I'll use the Waves ADT plugin, which is the digital tape doubling that like the Beatles used to use, and it's a model of that. Other times I'll use Harmony EFX, which is a wonderful plugin. So sometimes I'll use that depending how much control I want. In any case, this is the vocal melody I have in mind, and you'll hear some of those harmonies too. I'll bring them in. Let me just put this on. So this is the bridge.
Fear to the left and not to the right. Passengers follow and criticize your tracing lines.
Let me give you some of the harmonies here too.
Kansas and colors ready to last. Solid as steel with the look of class. Extreme decline.
So you can see that goes into the solo that we had the other day. There are other parts of the song that are starting to come together. On the outro chorus, right after the solo, again, forgive the vocals here. I haven't yet mixed them properly nor comped them, but you'll get an idea. By the way, if you're wondering, this song is actually called Sing Your Song. The lyrics are inspired sort of by the challenge itself. The idea, the sentiment of the song being that it doesn't really matter if the song is great, wrong, broken, whatever, just sing it. And for better or worse, just because you love to do great music or not so great music. It depends on what the listener decides. So here we go. And you'll hear some rather shaky background vocals. I haven't yet really gone through those to see which take I like the best.
Sing your song, no matter if it's great or wrong. Broken or strong, keep your treasure where your heart is and sing your song.
So that goes into the solo that you heard the other day. In my case, when I go to mix a song, I usually like to have a full day or two. So with an eye on that and still trying to accomplish this challenge within the time frame that we were given, my eye is on trying to be mixing the song by Friday of the week that I'm recording this video. So the idea would be that I would be mastering the song on the weekend. I'm not sure then if I'm going to make a mixing video, mastering video. Time is so tight. But what I promise to do is that when the song is done, there will be a final video posting the song in its entirety, for better or for worse. And some of the vocal parts, I had to double them. The background vocals, I definitely had to double them. And what I've run into is now the challenge is getting the parts down to its simplest non-competing elements. So those you'll notice in those little samples that I gave you, especially on the outro, there are just too many parts going on. Don't mind doing that when I'm recording because I want to capture an idea. If I feel this would make a nice riff that bounces off the other riff and gives it a little bit of a different rhythmic flavor, I like doing that. But what I like to do is unite them so that it really sounds like one guitar, one bass and drum section, one vocal and one background vocal. That's it. Like I said, this is a short video compared to the other ones I've done. There's just so much to do and very little time to do it. So really what I'm trying to do is I've got about 3 or 4 days left to have finished comping the parts. And if there are any last takes that I need to do to get those in there, as I say, my eye is on mixing this song on Friday with mastering it on the weekend. And God willing, about a week from now, posting the mastered final song, to whatever degree we can call this song final, to YouTube, to anyone who took the time here to watch the video. I hope you've enjoyed the series. And again, if I don't have time to show any other steps in this, I really hope you enjoy the final song. And thanks for checking in with us on these last videos. All the best. Bye-bye.